hate to say that we were kidnapped and brought here. It's true. It's not hate to say that we were Jim Crow, discriminated and segregated. It's true.
Our problem has been, as black people, we've always been concerned about white America, never about...
I can't be a pessimist because I'm alive. To be a pessimist means that you have agreed that human life is an academic matter.
We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good morning, good evening, good night. Depending on where you're watching, when you're watching, this is HRAP-B. This is the End of the Bench Media, and I am doing Build and Destroy, where I attempt to build up the community, destroy the propaganda and lies that are surrounding our community. It's attempting to destroy our community. Thank you for tapping in. If you're watching on www.theendofthebench.com, watch from there, tap in there. If you're watching right here on YouTube or Twitch, hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend to tap in. Happy Election Day. Yeah, well, that's kind of dating it, but happy Election Day. This is the day that everybody chooses to exercise their civil rights, civic duties, so to speak, and voice their opinions. In the event that you choose to participate, at that point, you will have the ability to voice your opinion to others, and you will be able to address the people who are in charge and put their feet to the fire. Otherwise, you'll just be able to sit around and complain laterally like a lot of people do. They complain to their friends. They don't complain to politicians. And your friends and family members really can't do anything, but you know, it is what it is. As I do every week, I acknowledge my parents. John and Dolores, without them, there is no me. Without me, there's no program. Without me, there's no program. Without the program, you'd probably be watching a football game or a basketball game, something of that nature. Thank you for using your time to share with me and encourage, continue to support what I'm doing. It's an interesting day. I'm not going to primarily talk about the election today, because it is what it is at this point. Either we'll wake up saying, hey man, we should have, and we'll see what's going to happen, or we'll wake up tomorrow morning and say, this is what we need to do. As I've said for the last, I think 18 months, I started about 18 months ago, focusing primarily on this because my edict was 18 months ago. We got about 6 years. We got about 6 years before it hits the fan. Either we galvanize and move in one direction and on one accord, primarily as a community, as a group of people, and as working class individuals, or we will suffer the consequences. And I truly believe that in 2032, it's going to be held to pay the captain, or it might be held to pay the captain as of early January, Martin Luther King Day, January 2025. Those are the options. I truly believe that's what's going on. I truly believe that's what's next. And I need people to pay attention to what's going on, because if we don't pay attention to what's going on, we will, again, suffer the consequences. We could do the whole, well, she this and he that, and he this and he that. Well, I'm a working class individual who's part of a union. Let me say it again. I'm a working class individual who's a part of a union. I'm a black man. I don't want to be stopped and frisked. I don't want my union to be done away with, because in the event your union is done away with, you can have any individual with their own agenda, and they can do away with your means to support yourself, and support your family, and support the people around you. There's 1,000,001 reasons why I won't support a group of people who are anti-healthcare, anti-union, anti-civil rights, anti-human rights, anti-women rights. I'm not a woman, but guess what? There are women in my life. There are women who I care about in my life. If you're stopping them, I have a daughter. I have people in my family and in my circle who need specific health benefits that they may or may not be able to afford. But if the government can assist in that, then you can make sure that is kept in place, instead of somebody saying, I have a plan. I have basically an outline of a plan. So either there's a plan in place or it's not. So what we have to do as working class individuals, do everything we can. And especially, I'm going to talk about tonight, the black community. I want you to understand, this is what we're looking at. This is what we're looking at. We're talking about 16 years ago, former president showed up and he galvanized a bunch of hate mongers. This is make it what it is. He galvanized, whether you notice or not, being probably more than likely, you're being a black individual on planet Earth. Salute to the people. As a matter of fact, before I get into this, I want to salute the people who support me outside of the United States of America. It warmed my heart that I had so many people outside the United States of America that supported me. So what I want to do is, before I go any further, I want to salute the people in South Africa, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Nigeria, Germany, Kenya, the Netherlands, and Ghana. Yes, thank you guys. Continue to tap in. And as I say to people here in the United States, tell a friend to tap in. I'm gonna need you guys to do the same. Tell a friend to tap in and acknowledge, and if you want to, come in and say, what's up, H-Rap? And I'll appreciate it, and I'll acknowledge you as well. But back to the point. We can get into this political situation and we can argue and see and this and that, and you never know. And that's what the media says. But I'm only going by what I've heard this individual say. He wants to do away with public education. And if you teach my history, if you teach that a group of white men came over here and basically decimated the people who were here and chained the people who look like me, and then brought more of my brothers and sisters from over here from the continent and put them to work for 200 plus years. And then ever since then, they've created laws to put me in a certain box. If you don't want that talk, then you have a problem. Then I have a problem. You don't have a problem because it uplifts your people and it denigrates mine. That's not a direct quote. That's a paraphrase quote from a book called The Miseducation of the Negro. It is about a father of Black History Month. He started off Black History Day, celebrating Frederick Douglass. Then it became Black History Week. And in the mid-70s, here in the United States of America, it became Black History Month. He doesn't want those facts told. He actually said, if you teach those facts, I will defund that school. These are his words. So you can, oh man, it's this and that. You can do all that. And what I do know is the Ku Klux Klan, the Proud Boys, the skinheads, and other hate groups, they are not unified. They don't even like each other. This is how much hate they're filled with. And guess what? This guy got those people working on the same page. I don't know. It's a lot of people that support me. And by the fact that I saw out of those 8 countries that I named, 5 of them are from the continent, that means I'm touching Black people, which means, guess what? I might be saying something that trigger Black people into action, which is positive to Black people, point blank, period, end of story. So guess what? If I'm galvanizing Black people, that means I'm trying to uplift Black people. If I galvanize hate, that means I might be a hate monger, especially if I don't denounce those haters. And that is the true definition of a hater, not this, oh, you don't agree with me thing that we've grown accustomed to in popular culture, calling anybody who doesn't agree with what's your point of view a hater. What these people are haters. They are killers. They are shooters. They are looters. They are rioters. We've seen January 6th a few years back. So understand who you're dealing with. This is also the person who has galvanized a group of people who anytime they're smart enough to not say the magic word, the N word. They're smart enough not to say that, but they use terms like DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So this is what your country, according to the contract called the United States Constitution, is built on. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. There is bring us your hungry, your poor, your hungry, your disheveled masses. This is your edict, not mine. And this guy, as long as they're not coming from ish whole countries, those countries he immediately named the Congo. He immediately named Haiti. He immediately named countries that brown people are coming from. All of a sudden, the border crisis was a thing. Never mind the fact that Barack Obama and Joe Biden has deported more people from the United States of America than any 2 presidents in the history. Sometimes some can say you could combine everybody from Kennedy up to Barack Obama, and he's deported more people than all those people combined. But we're not going to talk about that. They was calling him the porter in chief. Joe Biden has surpassed Barack Obama. But we're talking about the border, only the southern border. What about the people from the Ukraine? Y'all don't remember those planes People from the Ukraine, when that war started, running the trains, running the planes, flying over here. Nobody talked about that. But when people who look like me or a little lighter than me or speak a different language than me, someone speaking French from Haiti, someone speaking Espanol from different islands and Central America, they are migrants and they're destroying the country. Or they're taking jobs from us. You know what? A lot of y'all look down on people who do Uber Eats, but people from those migrant people doing Uber Eats, so y'all don't even want those jobs. A lot of y'all ain't gonna pick cotton. I mean, pick strawberries and fruit. Those people are doing those jobs, so yeah, they taking jobs that your behind don't even want, and you got to let somebody trick you into it. Another thing that really bothered me is the Supreme Court at one point was the most respected court in the United States of America. This dude has put two people on the court who literally said, we're not going to touch Roe versus Wade. They got on it immediately, touched Roe versus Wade. So you're affecting women now. He wants to do away with what is called affectionately called Obamacare. It's the Affordable Care Act. And if you actually looked into it, it's actually Mitt Romney's plan. People don't even understand that this is a plan that Mitt Romney instituted in Massachusetts. When he was the governor of Massachusetts, Obama tweaked it, can't put it out, it became Obamacare. If you look into your history, that's another reason they don't want you to look into your history. If you look into your history, 100 years ago, you had FDR trying to institute something along the lines of the Affordable Care Act. And people literally said, no, because black people don't get it. This is a known fact. So see, the thing is, you do away with history because history empowers. A lot of people don't understand how important history is. And when I get into these 5 things that I want us to pay attention to, history is one of them. History is one of them because history shows you that if you get kicked in your face, it doesn't kill you. It just makes you hurt for a little while, and then you have to fight. And there are people in our history that are part of our history that showed us, that have shown us that no matter how much tyranny, how much racism, how much discrimination, how much governmental pressure is applied to our community, we have risen to the occasion and we have fought through it, and we were better after it. Do we need to go through that again? No. We don't need no more fight. We don't need no more oppression. We don't need no more discrimination. We've had enough oppression and discrimination in these 50 states, in these 48 states, plus Hawaii, plus Alaska, Guam, and Puerto Rico to last us another millennium. We don't need any more of that. But it's a lot of people. I talked to my aunt today when I took her to vote, and she was talking about the young people that she see, and she said, I look in their face and it's no hope. When you don't know your history, that's when you say, it's nothing around me and everything is set against me. So I'm gonna turn to crime. I'm gonna turn to dismay. I'm gonna turn to substances. I'm gonna turn to anything that could hurt me or anybody around me because there's no hope. And that's the way they want you to feel. And that is a plantation mentality. And that's why they want to do away with diversity, equity, and inclusion. They want to rewrite the Constitution. They want to put Supreme Court justices to support their BS. And the most important thing is this: they want to change terminology that means helping us into a negative, or they substitute it for the N-word. Because when you say diversity, equity, and inclusion, people act like diversity only means include black people. You have other communities that really believe, they only helping out black people with diversity, equity, and inclusion. Well, guess what? Let's just go back 100 years. They ain't want women to do anything either. But now one woman is trying to run the world. That's diversity. That's the first diversifying the government. Equity, that means everybody gets a cut. Inclusion, that means you have an opportunity. But they make it, it's a black thing. And they program people to not like us. So when you hear those things, it's about the blacks. No, it's not. It's about including everybody. It is about including everybody. But it's the way of saying, hey, we don't want N-words around. Diversity, equity, inclusion, N-words. And they get you to believe that they're only focusing on us, so they'll feel like you're getting left out. And there's people that's falling for that foolishness. There are people falling for that foolishness. You have a ton of things that are set up, and they make it seem like, that's for black people. Another thing, and this shows you how important history is: critical race theory. They got you to believe 4 years ago that critical race theory was a class that was being taught at elementary school. And Arizona, Oklahoma, Florida, and other places. You even got a bunch of dumbass, excuse my language, I'm gonna say it again, bunch of dumbass pastors in the churches and black pastors in black churches in Florida say we don't want people to teach that type of history. Well, you would leave out some very important people in history and in the civil rights, just in the civil rights era, if you excluded, if you didn't teach history in its totality, and you don't want people to learn about gay people. See, we need to start, first and foremost, we need to start parenting our children. If you're scared that, oh man, I don't want my kids around that, they're going to turn trans, they're going to turn gay. Well, you know what? I find it extremely difficult to believe that you can turn somebody trans or gay. Because if that's the case, if I could put enough stuff, if you can put enough stuff on television and you can make people in the United States go, you know what, I want to be another sex, or I don't want to be another sexual orientation. I want to go an alternative lifestyle. That means it shouldn't probably be any gay people in the world. Because if you're watching TV, if you're watching movies, by and large, it's heterosexual. So how did the gay people get here? And if gay is a choice, when did you choose to be straight? What was the conversation like in your mind to say, you know what, I think I might want to kiss a dude. Nah, I don't want to. And then you decided straight. You decided straight. See, this is what happens when you allow other people to tell you what's going on in your head and you don't think on your own. And this is what's going on in the United States of America. This is what's going on. So I'm not really going to get into the whole, this guy's bad and this lady's good, because I am independent of any party and always will be. And if you became independent of any party and always will be, this would be the perfect opportunity for, at least, I cannot speak for anybody else, but at least the people in my community, or how about this, the people who think like I think, to create something like the Tea Party. Because remember, when Barack Hussein Obama was elected, it was Republicans versus Democrats, and you had ancillary independent, the Green Party and Ross Perot and other people who showed up and said, I'm going to be president. But guess what else? This little group of people on the grassroots level, they became the Tea Party. And the Tea Party was symbiotic of the Boston Tea Party when they started to overthrow the government. And that's exactly what happened. And then it morphed into Trumpism. That went from, that's how you get people like Rafael Cruz. His name is not Theodore. His name is not Ted. His name is Rafael Cruz. He's ashamed of his heritage. That's why he changed his name to Ted. He's a creep. The same dude who threw his daughter under the bus when the people in Texas lost power and the grid was going bad, and he got on a plane and went to Cancun, and he came back and he said, why'd you go to Cancun when all your constituents are in here in Dallas and in Texas struggling? Oh, my daughter wanted to go. Coward, chump, clown. Back to the point. That's how you got guys like that. And then it morphed into Trumpism. And then you get people like Amy Coney Barrett and Marjorie Taylor Greene and the rest of these goofballs. Some of these people didn't even graduate from high school and they're in government. They don't know anything about the Constitution, but they're in government. They're telling you that the Democrats rained down a tornado on Georgia, Florida, South and North Carolina, and Tennessee to stop people from voting. How asinine is that? But these are the people who are making decisions on your life. And then you got people saying stupid things like, well, they're going to put gay in the schools, and then the president going to make that. No, you need to take a civics lesson. You need to go ahead and look into civics, because the school board in your city, county, or state are controlled by your governor, county president, mayor, city council, school board. So that means I could be president tomorrow, and guess what? No matter what I say, they can't teach anything in your school board. If you get involved, again, like our parents and our grandparents did, then I'm going to need you to understand what's going on. How can you help your children be educated about something if you're not fully educated? So the president does not control any and everything that he wants. There are certain things he or she can do, and it's going to be suggested to the Congress or whatever, or however you want to do it. But if we stop complaining to John and Joe and Peter and Johnson and all these people and start complaining to the people who are literally their job says, I do what you say. It is a civil servant. Civil. It is a root word. It is the root word of civilian. Servant is a person who does your bidding. Civil servant, civic servant, civics, civilian, city, county, state, country. This is how it works. But the name of this show today is this: the 5 things that I believe we need to stop doing. Because if we don't stop doing this when 2032 rolls around, it's going to be hell to pay the captain. And I will continue to say this. It is a scary situation. I'm not scared if this person or that person is the president. I'm not scared if this person or that person is the mayor or anything like that. But what you need to do is understand that you're under attack, working class human being. And more importantly, I'm speaking direct. I'm always speaking to humanity, but I'm always speaking directly to the people who look just like me. No matter where you're from, we're under attack. And the sad part is, here's this truly sad thing. We're under attack by a global minority. It's more people that look like you and I on this planet than look like anybody else. We are the global majority. It's more people, the second largest population of people that look like me on this planet is in South America. You would think, no, it's a whole lot of black folks in the United States. No, South America and Brazil to be exact. In Brazil, there's a whole lot of people that look like me in Colombia, all through the continent of South America, all through that continent, and in the Caribbean, and in Central America, and Mexico, and Canada, and Alaska, and so forth and so on. There are people that look like you and I. And what we do is allow people to tell us that we're minorities. The minority in the United States of America or any place on earth wouldn't rule anything unless you're dumb enough to allow them to do it. And I do mean that. You would have to be dumb to allow people to minimize you, to make you think you're less than. All you have to do is listen to the people who are against you talk when they are going against each other. They identify themselves as Italian Americans, Greek Americans, Irish Americans, French Americans, and so forth and so on. That's what they do. They don't say, I'm American. They say Italian American. And then when it's time to hate on you and minimize you, they say, I'm American, which y'all heard me say it before. Being an American means you're Mexican, means you're Canadian, means you're Venezuelan, means you're South American. Those are Americas. These are the Americas. So you have to say, I'm a citizen of the United States to be exercising your proper civic duties. Again, pay attention to what's going on, and you don't have to be told what's going on. You don't do that with any other thing in your life. Any other thing in your life. But you allow other people to tell you you're part of a minority. I've given you these numbers before. In Germany, that's 60 million people. In America, that's 300 million people. There's 60 million black people in America, though. So how is it that they separate themselves besides when those hate mongers want to get together and fight? Well, we separate ourselves. I'm from the north, I'm from the south, I'm from the west, I'm from the east coast. We're going to divide. How many times do we lay down and accept divide and conquer as a way of thinking before we're annihilated? That's what's on the table. But what I want you to understand is this: unity is a thing that they can't deal with. They cannot deal with your unity. You want to be straight or gay, you want to be Christian or Islamic or whatever, or however many different sects, and nobody does that. You want to be rich and poor, you want to be educated and not educated, you want to be a blue collar worker and a white collar worker, you want to be a divine nine versus gangbangers. You continue to separate yourself from the fray. You always want to be above the fray. That's why you let people know what organization you're part of, because I want to be white adjacent. Let's keep it honest. Because I hate the word real. Let's be honest. Let's be genuine. We don't want to be encapsulated into the group that's going to be discriminated against. But if you, let's like tonight, it's Tuesday, I think the lottery is tonight, whatever it is, Powerball tonight. If you hit the Powerball, you hit the Powerball. Your cousins did. Maybe your sisters and brothers will benefit. Your parents will benefit. Your children will benefit. Your significant others is definitely going to benefit. But what about your cousins? You don't give away that whole $200 million to them. Exactly. And that's the way we have to start thinking now. Because I made it means absolutely nothing. Do you want to live in a destitute area? Hell no. I don't. I don't want to live in the midst of crime and mayhem and have my daughter go home. And I don't want to be and wonder, is she going to be safe? Let me know when you get home. I don't want to do that every day. We text me and my daughter, we text all the time. She let me know she's cool. But I want her to live in that situation. A couple weeks ago, they were shooting, and I had to check them when you home. Yeah, I don't live in that situation. But guess what? When you make it, all you're doing is you should be open, keeping the door open, so somebody else can make it through, and you throw a rope down. See, people always say, pass the torch. No, we ain't passing the torch anymore. What we're going to do is learn how to light the next torch. That's the problem. They told you to pass the torch. But if you pass the torch to me, whoever was over there with you is in darkness now. But if you light my torch, and even if it burns brighter, now it's more light. We have to get out of this constant competition with each other. You want to be, if you're a Muslim, you want me to praise, all praises due to Allah. If you're a Catholic, you want me to pray to the saints. If you're a Christian, you want me to pray to Jesus. If you a Jehovah's Witness, you want me to pray to Jehovah Jireh. No, let's just make it real simple. We are all the children of the Creator, and never come in contact with any religion, no matter what you call it, that does not say respect your neighbors as you will respect yourself. Love and respect your neighbors as you respect yourself. Okay, since everyone loves to throw their God into it, we're going to eliminate this gay thing, this rich thing, this poor thing, because this is what I'm going to do for the rest of the time I'm able to do this. And the other, not on other podcasts that I do, because other podcasts are for my edification, for fun, or just for information to share, like Rapping with H Rap. That's so y'all can get to know that there are more like thing people are like that are like you than different. The sports is just for me to talk crazy, act silly as I can be, because I'm stressed out. That's what I do. But on this podcast, and the podcasts that are like this is what I'm going to do going forward. I'm going to use God's words to make God's world. Say it again. I'm going to use God's words to make God's world. Now, you can be a Christian, you can be a Muslim, and you know what? Guess what? If you're a Christian and a Muslim, they tell you don't be like them. Guess what? To be a Muslim is to submit to God. To be a Christian is to be Christ-like, and that's God. Sound like the same thing. It's like somebody drinking a soda, somebody drinking a pop, somebody drinking a Pepsi. They drinking the same thing. I'm not asking you to change any of your situations. I'm asking you to use God's words to make God's world. Even Jesus said, I think it's John, and I'll pass the dog, gonna smack me around Sunday. Work with me. I think it's John 12:8. When Jesus said, I'm going to teach you, it starts off verily, verily. And it ends when Jesus said, I'm going to teach you to do things greater than I. The Prophet Muhammad says something along the same lines. So, guess what? One of the first principles of God is judge not, yet ye be judged. Allow me to handle these things. When he kicked Cain out, he didn't say, now go get him. He said, I'll handle it. So, if you see people sinning, if you want to correct the gays and the transgenders and all those people, you are in violation. Because if I start stealing, if I'm on drugs, if I'm violent, what people say, hey, don't get mad at H-Rap. Love the sinner, not the sin. So if you believe that lifestyle is a sin, love the sinner, not the sin. See, God's words to make God's world. Let God handle that. And what we're going to do is use God's word to make us better people. See, you don't have to agree with anything in that book, but just let's go along with the principles in those books, whatever book you choose to read out of. But let's go along with the principles in those books. And the principles say we need to love our people and come together. Love your neighbor as you would love yourself. See, enough of this nonsense, man, because you are in jeopardy. We're not in jeopardy because whatever's coming down the pike is going to be for a while. So we're going to be older. But all of us have younger cousins, nieces, nephews, grandchildren, neighbors, and friends, and people who we care about. They're youngest. So we need to make it better for them. So while you sitting around debating about a lifestyle or you need to do this, what you need to do is open your Bible, Quran, Torah, Old or New Testament, or whatever you studying the Lord from, and follow those rules because you are dropping the ball. And while you drop the ball, while you bend it over to pick up the ball, there's somebody coming to bust you upside your head. See, we continue to fall for the proverbial banana in the tailpipe. There's some people, I've had people, hey man, I don't really deal with, you be saying some good stuff. I don't really deal with the God stuff. 2 fingers, 1 word, I'll holler at you, man. It's cool. I ain't mad at you. But when it hit the fan, I don't want to know I was right. Because I know I'm right. I don't want to, I mean, you was right. What we gonna do? Nothing. Stay over there with them people, man. And I mean that, man. Because if you can be swayed by negativity now in this moment, and then all of a sudden H-Rap is right. What happens when you get swayed later on? What you do is you create your crew, and when we see your crew doing good and our crew's doing good, we will work with your crew, never integrating, because integration only makes my crew weaker. And my crew is about caring for your brothers and sisters, caring for your loved ones, and making sure the people around you can, that old saying, a high tide raises all boats. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on raising all boats. So this divide and conquer thing, and we're gonna get education in order, we're gonna get finance in order, we're gonna get housing in order. And do y'all understand, if we support each other, we don't even need other people or the government. Now, look, reparations is old. Reparations is old. The likelihood is slim and none. Slim and none. But it is old. So that don't mean we're not going to fight for it, but it is old. But it's enough of us. And if we stop separating ourselves by trying to be, well, see, I'm not going to do that just because it's black. Why not? I was talking to a good friend last night. He asked, we were talking about his home state, which is Louisiana. I asked him, I say, is it a Spanish part of your town down there? He was like, yeah. I said, is it an Asian part of your town down there? He was like, yeah. And he's from a small town. He's not from a big town, a gigantic city in Louisiana. He's from a small town. He said, yeah, it is. And those towns are staying, those portions of town are staying productive because with intention, they go over there. Nobody, like it's this joke that I read about 4 years ago. If you're born in the 70s, your grandmother never made you a taco. Not because my grandmother didn't like Mexican people, not because she thought she was above it, but with the intention, they shop it themselves. Just like here in Chicago, second largest shopping center in Chicago, Illinois, is the Mexican shopping center. And when you drive through there, when you're on your way to another part of town, I don't see a lot of others there. It's just them. So when oh man, but see, ours isn't ... We don't have the patent and exclusivity on substandard behavior. Because I got a homeboy named Emmanuel Ramirez. He said, and I quote, yo, B, I wish my people were like your people, man. I almost fell out the chair. I said, what you say? Yeah, man, black people together, man. Got so much unity with y'all. I didn't say it. And Manny might be watching now. He gonna find out now. And I was like, boy, we think the same thing about y'all people. So we don't have exclusivity on denigrating each other, discriminating against each other, acting a fool with each other. That is a human trait. The Jews up in Skokie on Howard Street here in Chicago, 7600 North, they don't all get along, but they guess what? They got their own police force. They got their own 911 number. CPD don't show up when they come. They got their own get there. In Crown Heights in Brooklyn, New York, same thing. Everybody don't get along, but see, you think they get along because you watching from above. You watching from 30,000 feet above. But when you're in the midst of this, they got disagreements as well. We need to stop paying attention and assuming these things. We need to get our finances in order, our education in order, our ability to get along with each other in order, and respect everybody's boundaries. If you are a part of this sect and this is how you represent the Creator, I'm going to respect that. And you're going to respect mine. But we still going to come together and exchange goods and make sure our children and our grandchildren and our elders are safe. And that's how you move forward. But we don't do that. We focus on trying to assimilate to another group. Hey, man, for people that don't know, like everybody, like if you watch the television show Snowfall, that's based in Compton, California, and it's loosely based on this super drug dealer by the name of Freeway Ricky Ross. Okay, Ricky Ross was a super drug dealer in Compton, California, and guess what he used to do as a child in his spare time? He used to play tennis with Jim Kelly, the superstar at that time. He was a superstar. Jim Kelly was the coolest black dude in the world. The ladies loved him. The dudes wanted to be like him. He could do karate, all the girl. He got the slick chicks in he drove the slick ride, had the slick ladies in the ride. He was the man. All the dudes wanted to be Jim Kelly, Superfly and all that. But they was in Compton, in the midst of the brothers. But just like here in Chicago, you got Peel Hill on the southeast side. You got Beverly on the southwest side. And then you got the 9, which is about a mile north of that. And it's total chaos on 87th Street. And the 9, total chaos and mass confusion on those streets in some instances. We need to recreate that. We need to put ourselves back in those situations. We need to stop being willing to drive 30 miles to the west to Aurora, 20 miles to the north to Rosemont, 30 miles to the west to Indiana, Michigan City, and drive your black behind to the south or the west side and shop with our grocers. And then take, Mayor Brandon Johnson is under attack. Yeah. Look, this city was in chaos, has been in chaos since my senior year in high school, 1987, the death, November 1987, the death of one Harold Washington. He unified this city like no other. Since then, it's been down the toilet. So I don't want to hear about no Brett. I don't want to hear about no Mayor Johnson. I don't hear about no Mayor Lightfoot. And the mayors between Washington and Lightfoot, I blame them because they have total control and things. The west side of Chicago is being taken over by rich folks. The south side of Chicago being taken over by rich folks. Hey, and it ain't Mayor Johnson's fault, and it wasn't Mayor Lightfoot's fault. It was Mayor Emanuel, Mayor Daley's fault. And Mayor Sawyer, he was just a go-between. He was just a bridge to the BS. But people don't want to admit that. I got a very good friend, extremely intelligent person in my life. I ain't gonna say his name because he don't like his name said on air. This dude is in tune. Just put it like that. He's in tune. He said, hey, man, that boat on 135th Street, on 139th, man, they need to get rid of it. Mayor Johnson need to do something about that boat. Man, that boat been there since we was 2. Since we were 2. So that means it was a Mayor Daley, a Mayor Belandic, a Mayor Byrne, a Mayor Washington, a Mayor Sawyer, a Mayor Daley, a Mayor Emanuel, a Mayor Lightfoot, and you're going to blame Mayor Johnson for it. Come on, man. See, this is what we do, though. We've been trained to attack each other. Any flaw, hey, man, your H-Rap, there was a stain on your shirt right there that day. There was a lot of good information you gave us, but you had a stain on that shirt. And why you got that old-ass Fat Farm shirt on, man? That shirt about 20 years old. Yeah, it is 20 years old. It's comfortable. It's all outdoors. I'm going to keep wearing it until it fall off me. But That's what we do. We denigrate each other. It's time to start uplifting. Since everybody love the Lord, love him in your way, but follow the rules. We must start doing this. We can no longer, like, how about this? It's dope that Biden and Harris, that they put 17 billion, that's 1,000 millions, 1,000 million 17 times into HBCUs. Awesome. But what if you HRAP at age 16 who had, if I could have went to pro baseball, I'd have never said the word college. What if you don't want to go? Why ain't we asking the state, the county, and the city, no matter what state, county, and city you live in, to reinstitute vocations in schools? Black people, we are in a situation to whereas a lot of those degrees that we go into these HBCUs to get, these psychology degrees, the criminal justice degrees, a lot of these degrees are becoming obsolete. They are. So guess what? Robotics is taking over. Electronics is taking over. So why don't we have coding in our school? Every child in the United States of America, or specifically my people, we need to have our children coding by the time they leave 8th grade. Because you know what? If you become a great coder in 8th grade, you ain't really got to go to high school. You going to high school is a formality. There's coders out here making $500,000 a year. How about this? You can be a coder fresh out Stateville Penitentiary, Joliet, Illinois. Yeah. Right out of Dixon, if you're a woman. Right out of Southwestern, if you're a man. Right out of Menard, where y'all favorite gangster, John Gotti died. Right out of there, if you learn coder, they'll hire you. Plumbing is needed. Shout out to my son. He's about to be in electric union within the next 5 to 7 days. If you become an electrician in the world of technology, you're more important than a coder. Because if I can code and don't no lights come on, ain't no light. You see this power that I'm using? My son's gonna be responsible for that. So guess how much money he's gonna be making? So we need to reinstitute vocation in our schools because everybody is not a damn academic. Only reason I can do that stuff is because my mother and my sisters and both my grandmothers, because my grandmother lost my mother threatened me so bad in Head Start that I never messed up in school again. And the one time I did hardly ever messed up in school again, academically, behavior wise, it was a wrap. I got so many beat down. Never mind. My grandmother, my mother's mother, my father's mother, she talked to me once in 5th grade, and I was literally sitting there going, "Oh, she just hit me because I feel horrible." So academics wasn't a substitute at my career, but everybody don't have a Lois and a Madid. So what you need to do is we need to get mechanics fixing these machines. We do it as self-check. Learn how to fix that self-check machine. Learn how to fix that. Robotics are making cars. You need to have those be the person that fix those. Heating and air conditions and tech is paramount. You need to learn how to fix that. Make yourself invaluable because everybody is an academic at age 18. Because by the time I got my degree, I was an academic at that point, but I realized, oh man, I need to get this. So we need to do that. We need to create institutions so we can be irreplaceable because a counselor, they don't care about that because they did away all the counseling. Mental health is paramount, but guess what? They shut down most of the mental institutions in the United States of America. Tinley Park here in Chicago used to be the biggest mental institution in the state. It is a big building that is decaying right now. No one cares, but they can care if you get involved and get into it. We can no longer worry about us. They got this. They about 3 months ago, I spoke about on this very program something called rugged individualism, and that's what's being promoted in the United States of America. Worry about yourself. This is what I watch a lot of interviews. Every time I see Club Shay Shay, every time I see Gilly and these people, they bring up something about, hey man, these people you get rich and the people in your family want all your money. You can't get, I'm going to learn how to say no. You've never heard other communities say that. You know, if they do say it, they don't say it in front of the world. And I'm going to talk about that in a little while. That's the thing that I want to talk about. I want you to see why your civic duties are important with this video. And I'll be back shortly. And then I'm going to show you why divide and conquer is no longer an option. It's your man H-Rap. I'll be right back.
In 1946, after decades of being denied their right to vote, Black citizens in Georgia saw a glimmer of hope. The Supreme Court had finally struck down white primaries, which were primary elections held in southern states in which only white voters were permitted to participate. But this victory was met with a violent backlash, a resurgence of white supremacist terror that would leave an indelible mark on the state. Leading the charge was Eugene Talmadge. During his 1946 gubernatorial campaign, Talmadge openly advocated for violence to suppress Black voters. When asked how he intended to prevent Black citizens from exercising their right to vote, his answer was a single word: pistols. This was more than a threat. It was a call to arms for his white supremacist followers, a promise that blood would be spilled to maintain the racial hierarchy. So in the aftermath of Talmadge's electoral victory, a wave of terror swept across Georgia. Signs bearing a chilling threat were posted at Black churches. The first Negro who votes in Georgia will be a dead Negro. And this wasn't an empty threat, because in Taylor County, a Black World War II veteran who had bravely served his country was murdered by white men for simply exercising his right to vote. Afterwards, a sign appeared stating the first Negro to vote would never vote again. These weren't isolated incidents. They were part of a larger, more sinister pattern of violence and intimidation designed to send a clear message: Black political participation would not be tolerated. So join us while we discuss the chilling history of Black voting rights. And if you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this at onemichistory.com. Also, please support my audio-only channel, One Mic 2. But without further ado, let's get started. In the wake of the Civil War, the United States faced a monumental task of reconstructing its nation, fractured by years of conflict and the institution of slavery. The defeat of the Confederacy in 1865 liberated approximately 4 million enslaved Black individuals, marking a pivotal moment in the nation's history. This newfound freedom was codified by the ratification of the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery. But for Black Americans, the true freedom was encompassed by more than just being liberated from bondage. It was securing the full spectrum of citizens' rights, particularly the right to vote. But after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln and under the presidency of Andrew Johnson, the initial efforts towards Reconstruction showed leniency towards the former Confederate states, granting them significant autonomy in rebuilding their local governments. Southern state legislatures enacted Black codes, which infringed on the civil rights of newly freed African Americans. Systemic barriers such as literacy tests and poll tax were later implemented by Southern legislators, undermining Reconstruction and disenfranchising Black voters, denying their suffrage and other basic rights. These restrictive laws sought to maintain elements of the antebellum order in the post-Civil War South. In response to this, Black Americans organized political conventions and protested their treatment, advocating for equal rights and suffrage. Outrage over Black codes fueled radical Republicans in Congress, leading to the passage of the Civil Rights Bill of 1866. This legislation aimed to define Black Americans as citizens with basic rights. This era was marked with significant advancements, including the ratification of the 14th and 15th Amendment, granting citizenship and the right to vote for Black males. During Reconstruction, the South experienced a interracial democracy for the first time. Black men participated in elections, holding various public offices. Over 1,500 African-American men served in positions ranging from local sheriffs to state legislatures and as United States Congress members. Despite these gains, with the withdrawal of federal troops from the South following the Compromise of 1877, it symbolized the end of Reconstruction. Free from federal oversight, white Southerners swiftly dismantled Reconstruction reforms, setting the stage for widespread disenfranchisement of Black voters for years to come. This wasn't done overtly. It was through a series of insidious tactics such as poll taxes, property requirements, literacy tests, all cleverly designed to sidestep protections promised in the 15th Amendment. Adding to these legal barriers were grandfather clauses and white primary practices, sliding open voting booths for impoverished whites while slamming the door closed for black men. The results were devastating. In just Louisiana, as an example, there were 130,000 black voters registered to vote in 1896, and by 1904,
I've turned over 500 average 9-to-5ers into profitable
headed by groups like the Ku Klux Klan. Their campaign of terror effectively neutered the black political engagement, reasserting white dominance not just in the South, but sending tremors of racial tension across the nation, even worrying African Americans in northern states. Consider the events of the 1868 election in Alabama, where a newly energizing black electorate came out to back Ulysses S. Grant for president. The specter of black people voting so alarmed the local Klansmen that by 1870 midterms, they had unleashed a deadly assault on a gathering of almost 3,000 black citizens, killing at least 4 and scaring countless others from voting. Also during this time was a rise in lynching, which was a racial terror tool that also stifled black political involvement. Those who dared to organize, register, or run for office often found themselves the target of lynchings. From 1889 to 1922, the NAACP recorded 3,500 lynchings, which is almost 2 lives a week during this period. Beyond stripping away voting rights, the efforts were a direct assault on the citizenship of Black Americans in the 20th century. The consequences were stark: a dramatic decline in African American political representation, with no Black U.S. representatives in Congress from 1901 to 1929, and no Black senators until 1967. This led to organizations like the NAACP, which was established in 1909, spearheading efforts by challenging discriminatory laws through legal battles and advocacy. Martin Luther King Southern Christian Leadership Conference, which would inaugurate the Crusade for Citizenship in 1958, a bold regional initiative striving to double the number of Black voters in the South. This effort was aimed to spotlight the persistent injustices of Southern voting suppression in response to the largely ineffective Civil Rights Act of 1957. Between 1961 and 1963, the Albany movement in Georgia weaved voter registration drives into the fabric of its protests against segregation. This movement utilized street demonstrations and boycotts to relentlessly advocate for Black voting.
And it is necessary for those people who rule over us and who rule over African people the world over, if those people are to stay in power, they must destroy our ability to love each other in a healthy sort of way. This is why...
Welcome back to your man H-Rap. This is Build and Destroy, and I did that purposely. That's how I usually close out every show. If you stay to the end, you see Dr. Amos Wilson say that. The reason I said that is because before I left, I told you I'm going to show you why it's important that we stick together. See, you saw people go from enslavement to Reconstruction to Red Line and Jim Crow segregation to the Civil Rights Movement to the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and here we are up the creek without a paddle. We are literally worse off than we were the day that Dr. King and the Southern Leadership Conference started their mission. We are literally worse off. My daughter, I was born in 70. My daughter was born in 93, 27 years later. She has less rights than I have now, and she's about to be 27 years old. That's insane. We are regressing. This is why I said we can no longer play this game about, see, blah, 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 and this. See, that's those people over there, and those. What's wrong? We can no longer do that. The children are not crazy. They're responding to a lack of leadership in our community. I'm going to say it again. A lack of leadership in our community. If you think there's something wrong with the children, all I want you to do is harken back to when we were younger, if you're my age or around my age, when everybody on the block had control. You know, people in my age group, we love romanticizing about that time when the lady down the street could get you to and all that. Okay, when have you ever tried to communicate with somebody on your block? Do you know everybody on your block? Do you know everybody in your apartment building? Do you know everybody in your community? Do you know most people? Do you know 60% of the people in your community? Hell, do you know 40% of the people in your community? And then there lies the problem. Do you and your friends complain that the holiday at the end of the month, it ain't like it used to be? It ain't. But when Big Mama now, news flash, if you are my age, you Big Mama now and Granddaddy now. You now. So if it ain't like it used to be, you are in the driver's seat. So it's your time to fix it. See, what you don't realize is Dr. King did not live to be 40, neither did Malcolm X. Said it again, Dr. King and Malcolm X never saw age 40. So if it ain't the way it used to be, and you are 35 or older, put on that Michael Jackson record, look in the mirror. It's your fault. And I got a mirror in my house too, so don't think I'm pointing the finger at you and saying you did it. We, Gen X up to yesterday, it's our fault. Did we create structure for our children and our communal children? Because it's amazing how you call, hey, what's up, brother? That's my brother. That means his niece is your niece. That means his nephew is your nephew. That means his daughter is your niece. Son, your nephew. If you're going to use these, don't just use them as loose terms. That means, what's up, brother? You don't even know him. You need to stop saying that. Stop. What's up, dude? Because that's how you treat them. My man or whatever. But that ain't how you want to live because you complain about the situation. We need to have our unemployed friends and family members. We need to have them at the school board meetings. They need to be reporting back to us, employed people or people who are too busy. And we need to have at this Thanksgiving meeting what's going on at the schools. We don't need to be complaining to each other. We need to have conversations with each other, make a list of things. Just come up with 10 things. And if don't nobody want to do it, find 10 people who want to do it. Because we ain't going to wrestle with people about the safety of our future. We must get to that. The number one thing in my purview, the number one problem in our community today is not drugs, it's not violence, it's not this. You know what the biggest problem is? And it ain't because they caused it. We load the gun for the system. We don't even load it. We clean the gun, we oil it up real good with the slide action. We put the clip in it, we load it, and we hand it to the man or the woman and say, shoot me when you like. And this is how you get us. We argue on social media. We had these foolish conversations on social media. I got 4 kids. Why I can't get a quality man? We listen to people like Charleston White, who for his own financial gain acts a complete fool on television, on the radio, on YouTube, wherever he is, he acts a complete fool, loud talking down to the ladies, disrespecting the men, and making lewd statements. And we but he right though. We stand up, we think it's for financial gain. We, as I be hearing people say, we spill the tea. What do black people mean when they say this? Only black people understand this. Stop doing that. Why would you tell people the system, who most people say the system is set up against you? So why would you tell them why would you tell them the secret to the ooze, so to speak? Why would you tell them that? To get an extra few dollars? They ain't gonna make, guess what? If they can give you an extra few, if they give you $5,000 a month on YouTube, what did they make? That means they made 55. Because they're not gonna break even, they're not even gonna double up. They're gonna make 5 to 11 times more than they gave you. That's the way the system is set up. But we sit up and we disrespect each other. We got women. Men ain't no good. Men ain't no good. What you bringing to the table? What you bringing to the table? Arguing about dumb stuff. And the people who are in charge, the people who are making the money, they look at the situation on social media and say, okay, we didn't even know how to beat you like that. Thank you for telling us. Stop it, y'all. Stop it. That's how they get you. If you don't think you're being set up with social media, all I want you to do, you can log out the show right now. Prove me wrong right now. Or you can tap on your YouTube screen, make it small, and go to your, if you got an iPhone, go to the bottom of your screen and go to this what is the thing? Forgot what it's called. Whatever it's called. You can go to the Google search. Forgot what it's called on iPhone, whatever it's called. Whatever. You can go to your Google search and type in New Balance gym shoe and scroll through the New Balance gym shoe site for a little while. Just not 30 seconds. Go just scroll through it. Look, just find a black pair of sneakers, New Balance sneakers. I guarantee you, when you tap into Facebook later, you're gonna see a New Balance ad. So that is called marketing. People think marketing is trying to sell you something. Marketing is making you think you can't live without something. That's what marketing is. That's what they're doing. So if you think if they can take it to look up this New Balance shoe, because most people don't wear New Balance, or look up anything that you don't normally look up, and I guarantee you, look up Maybach, look up something that you damn sure can't afford. I guarantee you'll get an ad for it on your Facebook feed, on your Instagram feed, on your TikTok feed. You will get an ad for it. I guarantee you this. So if they're watching you and making sure you're eating the right thing, or buying the right thing, or wearing the right thing, or wearing what they want you to wear, what make you think they're not watching your arguments and putting that stuff in front of you? Click on the fight, you're gonna get 10 more fights. You click on one of these forums where, oh, well, these women, what are they bringing to the table? Bruh, you supposed to bring to the table. Everything she brings to the table is an addition to. Because everybody like it back in the day, right? Back when your grandmama and them used to do it, right? That's how your grandfather used to do it, buddy. Well, it ain't like that no more, rap, man. The world ain't like that no more. Well, guess what? It could be like that. It really could. Why are we on there asking? Why are we going to the government asking for jobs? You need to ask for training to make yourself irreplaceable. Because the dude who fixes the self-check thing is irreplaceable. Because if Walmart ain't got that self-check, they got to pay people something that they don't want to do. You come in there and you fix all those self-check things, you're irreplaceable. You fix the air, you're irreplaceable. You fix the coding, you're irreplaceable. You're the plumber, you're irreplaceable. You're the electrician, you're irreplaceable. It's gone are the days of working for somebody forever. Guess what? Guess what else you're irreplaceable? You tired of the prices being so high? The grocery store owner in your community. Let's just say, well, everybody can't own a grocery store. Yes, you can. You can have an H-Rock grocery store. You can have a Mike grocery store. You can have the Joe grocery store, and you can have the Patrick grocery store. And according to the situation, we're in competition. Or we can all meet in the middle and either A, create a corporation, and everybody think, and then that's the way we holding each other to a standard, or come together and we buy 10,000 bags of potato chips, 10,000 pounds of potatoes, 10,000 watermelons, and now we're gonna feed the whole community, and the people within an 8 square mile radius are shopping with us exclusively. We come together, we're gonna buy a whole bunch of hot sauce. We go everything that you need in the grocery store. We're gonna buy a whole lot of turkeys, a whole lot of chickens, and then guess what? We put what is it? Kroger, aka Jewel in Chicago, aka Food for Less in Chicago, aka Whole Foods in Chicago, and any other certified grocery store. We can put them out of business because we don't have to leave our community. We don't have to leave Inglewood. We don't have to leave the 9. We don't have to leave the Hunters. We don't have to leave K-Town. We don't have to leave Austin, because we all shopping with ourselves. Guess what? You've immediately created a need for more grocery stores. You created management positions in the grocery store. You created stock boy positions in grocery stores. You create, guess what? Those grocery stores need those refrigeration units intact. So those people that you want the heating and air conditioning, refrigeration, you got a job now. Electricians, you have a job now. That's what other communities are doing. And guess what? You don't want to do that. What? Guess what? There are a lot of dilapidated homes in Inglewood, on the 9, 87, 55th, so forth and so on, all throughout K-Town, all throughout South Lawndale, all throughout Austin. You can start purchasing land. How about this? You don't even have to go. You don't even have to go to school to be a coder. You also don't have to go to get a. You don't have to get a degree to do that. You also don't need to get a degree to go into the stock market and get into Series 7. Guess what? The stock market is the easiest thing in the world. For my sports fans out there, I'm going to ask you this question. Give me the top 5 NBA players in the league right now. Give me the top 5 NFL players. I guarantee you, if you're a big-time sports fan, you can rattle off 5 people without even thinking. NBA fan, you can do it without even thinking. Now, question is, riddle me this, Batman. Remove Google, Apple, Nvidia, and Microsoft. Give me the top 5 stocks after that. What would you invest in? If I gave you $20,000 a day and said you can't invest in those, but you have to invest, what would you invest? I don't know that, rap. That ain't my thing. You know why it ain't your thing? Because you don't want it to be your thing. But how about this? Before we move forward, we have to go to Walmart, Sam's Club, right? We have to go to Costco. We have to go to Target. We have to order on Amazon. Now, if you've gone to any of those places, how about putting some of that $20,000 in there? How about that? Or how about this? It's this thing like Costco and Walmart are sisters. They're parent. They're one company. You go to Walmart, see a TV, it's $30 cheaper at Sam's Club because they are direct to consumer. I mean, they're buying direct from. There's no middleman. They're just housing those TVs and then they sell them at a discount price because it's an older TV now. You do understand? If you got $20,000, you can go buy a whole bunch of TVs from Vizio directly. And in 3 weeks on Thursday, you can have Brian Friday and sell those TVs and make $50,000 on a $20,000 investment. That's what we need to start. We need to get back to doing things like that. People, oh man, that's crazy. No, it's not, because it's 1 million people gonna go next and 3 Thursdays. They're gonna go their behinds to Walmart and buy in a bunch of stores and buy stuff. And then it's gonna be Cyber Tuesday. Cyber Monday, and then you're gonna go buy some more stuff. We're gonna cut the prices down. They're not cutting the prices down. They're said this, like me and my cousin Vincent used to say, it's the underlay for the overplay. This stuff is gonna be old. The new stuff comes out for Christmas next month, so we're gonna slash the prices and give it away because the new stuff is coming in, just like they do with cars. What do they do with the car? It's a whole bunch of 2024s didn't get sold. Where those cars go? They ain't giving away, but they're cheaper. You can do the same thing with technology. I'm still watching the TV. I'm still watching the TV that I bought in 2010. Now I bought other TVs since. Don't get me wrong, I have. But it's a TV that I'm watching today. When I get through with this, I'm gonna watch a basketball game on a TV that I bought in 2010, and that joke is still working great because it's a TV. TVs don't go out. This is technology. This ain't the big back TV with the bulb on the back. No. But we keep allowing them to pimp us. We keep allowing them to pimp us. And then we teach them how to hurt us. Oh, see, we're going to uplift the black woman and the black man. Guess what? And then we argue about that. Meanwhile, they changing laws. They disrespecting us. They under attack. We under attack. We are literally in a conversation. Should we vote for a threat, a lady who is a potential threat because she locked up a bunch of people who broke the law? Well, she was a black man, so she locked up a bunch of people allegedly, because I'm gonna give you the numbers on that in a second. Or should we do this? A dude who has caused people to commit suicide and ruin their businesses because he didn't pay him. A dude who does not believe in unions, so he don't want you to get paid. A dude who has openly said he don't want to pay overtime. A dude who says he wants to give the police immunity. You know, yesterday was the other day, the dude who killed Breonna Taylor, he got sentenced in federal court. That dude wouldn't be getting sentenced. A dude who said he want to give the police total immunity. So if he want to stop and frisk and total immunity. The lady who locked up a bunch of dudes who was breaking the law, even though the system made them break the law. Or the dude who said, hey, lock them up, kill them. I don't care who you vote for, because like the district attorney in Philadelphia said, F around and find out. But I got receipts. See, it ain't all bad. He did this. I only going by what he said. Well, he gave this much money to HBC. He gave $250 million a year after Barack Obama gave $1 billion a year. Well, he made it permanent. $250 million permanent versus debating over $1 billion. And every time you debate over $1 billion, you get it. See, this ain't George W. Bush. You ever notice when you talk about George W. Bush, nobody really said they didn't like him. He's a goofball. He's aloof. He's kind of goofy. You didn't like Herbert Walker Bush. Y'all like Clinton. I didn't. You know, none of these people have been good for us. But you never heard a lot of people say, I hate him. You got people who work with him calling him a fool, saying he's incompetent. But because he's a businessman, and see, the rappers used to like him. No, the rappers liked the image that was portrayed of him. Because while y'all was telling the rappers Donald Trump is the most powerful land developer in New York City. So you got the biggest city in America, one of the most important cities in the world, and you telling me this dude is sitting on top of the world, and every time you show him to me, he show him in a great situation. So yeah, I want to be like that. And then you say, I'm the Black Trump. I mean, I'm the Black, rich, and powerful. Not because I thought this dude was cool, but y'all believe that too. So no, they don't tell you about how this dude literally bankrupt a rival league to the National Football League. Used to be spring football, the United States Football League, the USFL. They were doing great. They were still in playoffs for the NFL. They was doing great. He said, you know what? I'm going to buy this team. I'm going to move it to September. And that league folded like a house of cards. Y'all don't talk about that. That's not a great business, man. That's a dummy. But we continue to get fooled and duped. We don't learn our civic duties. We don't know about city council. We don't know about community empowerment. We don't know about academic council, a board of education. We don't know about these things because we are too busy to learn these things. But you're not too busy, because if you ain't too busy to love your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and neighbors, you ain't too busy for that. We must come out of this. The most important thing I want to talk about today before I tap out is this. We must start tapping into our elders. On that video clip that I showed you, the video in its entirety is in the description of this show. You click on the show, you go into the description, and you click on that, and you get the entire video. I cut it off because I wanted to. I want you to go support that brother too, because he got a lot of content. Some of his content is 10 minutes, 3 minutes, and some of it is 40 minutes long. You need to tap in. What I want you to do is respect your elders and have conversations with your elders. Quincy Jones died. Rest in peace. Day before yesterday. Chicago's own Quincy Jones, from right here in my city. You know how much knowledge died with Quincy Jones the other day? You know how much information passed away with Quincy Jones that we'll never be able to get? He got so many. I'm not talking about no scuttlebutt. I'm not talking about Michael Jackson, the stuff he said about Michael Jackson, the stuff he said about this guy, and he probably know about Puff Daddy. Who cares? No one cares. It is life experience that died with him. That's why I'm restarting my Rapper with H-Rap series, because while you think your uncle who just don't know how to shut the hell up, man, he won't shut up. He told me that story 60 times. Tell you what, reach out to me in the inbox, and I'll talk to your uncle. Because your uncle, your aunt, your cousin, your friend, your neighbor who just won't shut up will share things with us that we never even knew about. You don't know. You heard the story 50 million times, so you think it's not important. But I'm going to talk to him because it's invaluable information in these elders. I gave y'all this story about my great-grandmother, how we used to be sitting on her front porch and laughing and joking, and she would just get up and leave. And then the other elders, they would go, oh, my back hurt. It must be getting ready to rain. And they would get up and leave. And me and my cousins, we would sit, me cousins and siblings, we sit out on the front porch like, they back hurt. Next thing you know, it's pouring down rain and we running in the house. She knew something that we didn't know. That the middle-aged people, my parents, my aunts, my cousins that are my mother's age, they like aunts, but they're really your cousins. Shout out to my cousin Chris. Hey Chris. She like a aunt. They know stuff that we don't know. But we Googling and looking things up. One of my partners on another podcast I do named Ivan, he says this religiously. A person with an experience, a person with a story can't be the person with experience. We need to start talking to these people about these experiences. They are no longer going to be here. And they will be able to teach us that we are being bamboozled and we're being tricked. Information is not equivalent to knowledge. Being informed is not intelligent. Intelligent is getting information, properly using that information you have to be better. I want to thank y'all for tapping in as usual this week. I'm not talking about politics anymore. If the wrong person win, I'm going to jail if I talk about it. But if the right person win, we got 8 years to get our act in order. I'm telling y'all, man, it's finna get real funky. I want the people who are working class individuals to protect these children, protect these women, and protect these elders. This your man H-Rap. I'm tapping out. I'm done with the political talk. It's been good doing it, but I'm done with it. And if I get enough people to do rap with H-Rap, y'all gonna be mad because I ain't doing this no more. Y'all already know, 2 fingers, 1 word, and my man Big Mo is gonna take us out.
We lust for that cheese, we lose sleep, dreams of that cream. We killing our teens, they dying for this American dream. Them government schemes, they turning us to hustlers and fiends. We hustling trees, them politicians smuggling green. Chasing that cheese, got everybody stressed in the streets. Pardon me for speaking freely, let it breathe. Evangelists preach the congregations out of their seats. They writing them checks for tithes, now it's people can't eat. She stripping for change for school, now she giving them brains. She used to that loot, she earning, now she giving them strain. He new to this game, but hungry, so he cooking his cane. He getting that paper, but then they gave him 2 to the brain. It's rules to this game, but hustlers never hustle for fame. The spirit of greed is grimy, so we struggle to change. They put us in chains to take away our African names. But if we submissive and don't resist, then who do we blame? It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim, and you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't, you thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang? Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. They gave us Obama, but that nigga was hoping for change. But Zimmerman is killing niggas and he free. Shit is crazy, babies having these babies and getting checked. But keep the child from they pop to rip his heart out his chest. Our rappers was leaders and now they in the booth in the dress. Spitting bullshit and making more but giving us less. They taking our sound and changing ours, dumbing it down. They taking our jobs and homes and they shutting us out. They taking our kids because it ain't a man in the house. They locking us down, but soon they gon' be wiping us out. They told our women they was too independent to need a man. They told our brother he was too insignificant to advance. It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim. And you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't, you thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang? Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. It's all a game.
And it is necessary for those people who rule over us and who rule over African people the world over, if those people are to stay in power, they must destroy our ability to love each other in a healthy sort of way. This is why